Hello RPG enthusiasts, welcome back to RPG PhD, the channel where we dive into the art and science of tabletop role-playing games. I'm Dr. Ben, and today we're exploring how using the through-line method can enhance your game mastering and create compelling stories and scenarios for your players. So let's get started. A story through line is an overarching narrative thread that guides the progression of your campaign. It binds events, encounters, and character arcs into a cohesive whole. Unlike a rigid plot, a through line is flexible and adapts to player actions and decisions. Think of it as the backbone of your story, ensuring every session contributes to a larger narrative. Think of story beats or dramatic events as pearls strung together on the through line. Each beat represents a significant moment that advances the plot, reveals character depth, or introduces new challenges. The through line acts as the string that holds these narrative pearls in place, ensuring continuity and progression. This interconnectedness maintains player engagement and narrative coherence throughout the campaign. So let's break down how to establish a strong through line. Start with a compelling hook to grab your player's attention. This could be a mysterious prophecy, a call to adventure, or a dire threat. This is the first pearl of the string that gives the players something to react to initially. A dark prophecy foretells the return of an ancient evil. The players are summoned by the king to prevent this looming catastrophe. This might be a place to think about themes or overarching ideas about what type of campaign you're trying to create. A mystery, a dungeon crawl, high personal drama, whatever. All you need here is a seed that can grow and branch as the player's response to the events as they unfold. Provide primary motivation for the characters. You might want to think about how, based on character backstory, how you might ensure there is character buy-in, at least initially. This depends on the motivations of the characters and how you would entice them to respond. Think of it as bait on the hook. You know that one player is motivated by items of power and or gold, so the king offers such rewards for their assistance. Another player may be motivated by religious devotion to a cause, so the king appeals to their benevolent and self-sacrificing nature. While another character might be motivated by status and influence, so the king offers lands or titles for their assistance. Define the central conflict or quest that will drive the narrative forward. What is it you want the players to overcome, and remember that this changes with what the players decide to do and how they react. The players must find and destroy the ancient artifact that the prophecy mentions before it falls into the hands of the dark sorcerer. Or maybe they decide to join forces with the sorcerer instead. Or perhaps decide to steal the artifact for themselves. Weave in themes like loyalty, sacrifice, betrayal, or redemption to add depth. The players find themselves surrounded by the sorcerer's forces. They must decide whether to stay and protect a wounded ally or flee to save the artifact. Choosing to stay tests their loyalty to each other and may require significant sacrifice, such as one player risking their life to hold off the enemy. A trusted NPC who's been helping the players reveals their true allegiance to the Dark Sorcerer and betrays the group. This betrayal shakes the players' trust and forces them to reconsider their alliances and strategies. The NPC who betrayed them offers a chance at redemption by providing crucial information about the sorcerer's plans in a moment of guilt and remorse. The players must decide whether to trust this offer and use the information to their advantage, exploring themes of forgiveness and the possibility of redemption. A well-crafted through-line offers several benefits. Narrative coherence. It keeps the story focused and coherent, preventing it from becoming disjointed. Engagement. It keeps players invested by showing that their actions have long-term consequences. Character development. It provides opportunities for characters to evolve and grow. Flexibility and adaptability. It allows the story to adapt to players' choices and unexpected twists, maintaining a dynamic and engaging game. After the Game Master introduces the initial hook, it becomes the player's role to add pearls to the narrative string through their decisions and actions. Each choice and action by the players serves as a story beat that the GM responds to, introducing new dramatic moments, character developments, and encounters. In turn, the GM gives players something new to respond to based on their previous actions. This interactive process cycle propels the story forward, creating a compelling and evolving narrative. As players continue to engage and make choices, the Game Master adapts and weaves these new elements into the overarching story through the through line, ensuring an immersive and continuous adventure. To implement a through line effectively, consider these steps. Outline the major beats, possible encounters, and dramatic events. The pearls that go on the through line before the campaign starts, but of course leave room for improvisation. What I mean is that you as GM may want certain dramatic events or encounters to happen. So you have them prepared and you can drop them in when they would be appropriate depending on the player's choices. You might plan the prophecy's revelation, the discovery of the artifact, key encounters with the sorcerer's minions, and maybe even a final confrontation. Integrate subplots that connect to the main through line. A subplot could involve a player character's backstory, revealing that their family was cursed by the sorcerer, tying their personal stakes to the main quest. The difference between a through-line approach and a railroad approach in tabletop role-playing games lies in flexibility and player agency. In a through-line approach, the narrative has an overarching plot that adapts to players' choices and actions. Players have significant influence on the story's direction, contributing to the unfolding events through their decisions. This approach provides a coherent and continuous narrative thread while allowing for organic development and improvisation. If players decide to side with a rebel faction instead of following the king's orders, the Game Master adapts the main quest to integrate this choice, creating new conflicts and opportunities. In a railroad approach, the story follows a predetermined path with limited deviation allowed. Players have minimal impact on the plot, with the Game Master guiding them along a fixed storyline. This focuses on a set sequence of events, often leading to predictable outcomes. Players may be forced to follow the king's orders regardless of their preferences, with all events and outcomes tightly controlled by the Game Master. This can lead to frustration as players feel their choices don't matter. A story through line is a powerful tool for any Game Master. It provides structure and coherence while maintaining the flexibility necessary for a dynamic and engaging campaign. By carefully planning, integrating subplots, pacing your narrative, and involving your players, you can create immersive and memorable stories. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more RPG tips and tricks. This is Dr. Ben from RPG PhD. Thanks for watching. See you next time.